Quest 2 head straps. This week, BoboVR dropped a whole new line of plus straps, and we showed you already the M2 one. Doesn't have a battery yet, but it has a spot to expand it with the battery. Today, we're gonna show you the M1 Plus. Let's open this up. So the M1 Plus is made to compete with the likes of like the Kiwi Elite head strap. Small sharp unboxing knife to the rescue. So this one doesn't rely on a forehead pad like the M2 or any of the Halo straps. This one just relies on your facial pressure that it puts on, but of course it has a nice top strap to help balance that facial pressure. And just like the M2 that we just got in, it also includes two different types of rear padding. Boy, this one feels very familiar. It reminds me of the Kiwi a lot already. So you got that same flexible rear pad we had on the M2 Plus. It comes with the alternate honeycomb padding if you want to swap that out onto the rear pad. And now the new top head strap has this big, nice squishy cushion, kind of just like the Kiwi Elite. So interestingly, this one does not have those notches in it. The other one did that I was explaining it kind of like notched into place. This one is just a smooth movement. I want to install this onto another one so I can compare them side by side with the Kiwi Elite. So in yesterday's video, I mentioned that there was still a spot for a top strap on the M2 Plus, but I was like, it didn't include one. It just seemed like they had one there. Now it kind of makes sense. They're using the exact same rear head pad, but for the M1, it does have that spot now in use. It looks like they've updated the design a little bit here. Whew. If you remember my original review of the M1, one of my concerns was when you went to take it off, if you pulled forward instead of lifting up, you'd pull the whole thing off. Well, you just heard that snap on. There's a snap in the front now, so this thing, the only way you're gonna remove it is by unhooking that snap and then sliding it off. Good improvement, especially because that was my one big issue with it before. It's got a little BoboVR branding on top there, that's cute. This very flexible joint does make it easy to put it on. I definitely feel like for my head shape, I want this pretty low around the base of my skull so that it'll feel nice and stable. It holds on well, and they include this cable management hook right here. You can hook onto the side, so if you get a battery strap in the future that you can attach to this, or if you were to get, headphones, a little bit of extra cable management, because there is two slots there, which is nice. Definitely a big improvement over the M1, because facial interfaces make a big difference as far as comfort goes. On an Elite style strap, I'm going to switch to an identical facial interface so that I can compare these two. So now we've got the very popular Kiwi Elite side by side against the new M1 Plus. M1 Plus does feel good. I really do find I push it pretty low in the back, which is normal for me with Elite straps. I want it down low so I feel it holding the bottom of my skull here. A lot of good stability without being overly tight. The padded top strap is a nice touch. It feels good on top of my head. I don't feel the weight as much. It's funny because I've always said the Kiwi Elite is the most comfortable Elite style strap, even superior to the original M1. But there's something about this M1 Plus I'm finding more comfortable. With the M1 Plus now, you get the option of the honeycomb. I mentioned that earlier. But what I found on the M2, I kind of liked the honeycomb on the top, but not on the bottom. So what I'm gonna try real quick is I'm gonna switch out the honeycomb on there, just on top. Oh yeah. I'm definitely finding the M1 Plus to be a little bit more comfortable. Let's do the pull-up check. It seems like you can pull this one up out of your way even better than you could on the M2 Plus. That's been something that the Kiwi's been known for because of this hinge design. It's always been one that you can pretty easily pull it up. This hinge is older, so maybe it's not holding as well as it used to. I feel like I used to be able to get it really up out of my face like I was getting this one. But this one still, if you're a developer, something you want to pull it up, go back into game, it's pretty easy to do that. The one thing that I think the Kiwi still wins on is the hinge only goes up, it doesn't go down. So it does serve as a bit more of a counter. So in the future, if you're getting the battery version of this or the battery version of this may help counter that weight a little bit more with the fact that it does that, where this one doesn't. The hinge is completely flexible all the way up and down. That's the one area I would say the Kiwi might win, but otherwise I am surprised at how good this feels, especially as I'm someone that really doesn't prefer Elite straps, honestly. They're good and they serve their purpose for people who want that extra stability, but right now, feeling both these side by side, if you were to ask me which one do I want, the M1 Plus wins it, I gotta say. And that coupled with the fact that they have this new modular style here, where there's a port back here that you can take off and put a battery pack on later if you want to upgrade. Or of course, if right off the bat, you want to just buy the M1 Plus with battery, you can see it's the same strap I have out here, but it's already got that installed for you. So we'll have a review of that coming probably tomorrow, day after tomorrow, because tomorrow hopefully we're gonna do the M2 Plus battery. But I've gotta say, Bobo, you keep learning from what you're doing and you keep improving, and this thing, it just beat out the Kiwi for my top pick for an elite strap without battery. I'm surprised, and they fixed my main problem. I really like they did that. This thing is solid now. Let's see how hard it is to take it off if you're someone who does like to take straps on and off. So you can get it off pretty easily, but weirdly, what I found actually the easiest way to do it is actually bend up the rear, slide it forward a little bit, and then pull the whole thing back off. Solid, strong plastic. The clicks and stuff make me a little scared, but hopefully if you're doing this, you won't be taking it on and off a lot. I don't see a reason that you would, but like I said, that going forward, and then it gives you just that little bit of leverage to get your fingers under there. Does seem to be the best way to take this thing on and off. Joint stability, I can see there's actual screws in here because that is one issue I've brought up since the Kiwi is all plastic. And that did happen. This still works, I can still pop that back in, but it's not nearly as strong and stable since something in there cracked a little bit now, and that happens. This is my buddy's Quest 2. I don't know what he does in his house, but this thing has yellowed, which is kind of icky too over time. Where this one, all my Bobo straps, I haven't had any of them yellow, but they've also been in my environment and not his. So what do you think? M1 Plus, M2 Plus video yesterday. I'll leave a link up here in case you missed that one. And then we got the Plus batteries coming. We got battery docks. A whole new product line of theirs came out all at once, which is pretty weird for Bobo because they usually release them over time. But what do you think? Are you gonna stick to your Kiwi if you have it? Do you have the M1? Are you gonna get the M1 Plus instead? I would say this is enough of an upgrade that I would definitely rather have this. I don't think a ton of people bought the M1 because of that issue I brought up. If they did, I would say this is worth getting over. But I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Thank you for coming here and being with us. Thank you for hitting 20,000. That just happened. It's really cool. Thank you. And we will see you in another reality. Okay, good.